For many people, a smartwatch that can tell you the time, track your heart rate, and some simple sports tracking is plenty sufficient. Watches like the Apple Watch that cost hundreds or thousands of dollars just don't seem logical. In recent years, we've seen many examples of budget smartwatches being launched, and they give you all the basic things that you need, and it's just what people are looking for. So today we're taking a look at Blackview's version of a budget smartwatch, so will these be any good? Welcome to a review of the Blackview X5. Hello, my name is Sean and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I do a lot of tech reviews as well as unboxing, and if that is something that interests you, do consider subscribing to this channel, leave a thumbs up on this video as well as share this video to all your friends around. And with that said, let's get on with the review of the Blackview X5. So today's review unit is graciously sent over to me by Blackview, and although they have sent me this smartwatch, I will still be providing my honest opinion so you know what you're getting into before buying this watch. The Blackview X5 retails for about 60 US, and that's about 240 Malaysian ringgit, and for the first 500 units Blackview is launching, we'll be selling at a super affordable US 18, and that's about 80 Malaysian ringgit. And for a smartwatch, this is super budget, so if you're interested in getting this smartwatch, do check out some of the links in the description below. So the X5 is a very simple smartwatch with a very rugged design and very little weight to the case. The case of the X5 is made of a zinc alloy body, which is supposed to give it a little bit of strength compared to plastic, and definitely gives the watch a super lightweight feel. And at the front of the case, you'll be getting a brushed metal finish with the minutes marked out in a 5 minutes increment, and 4 screws at each of the corner to give it a really rugged look overall. At the side of the watch, you get 2 plastic buttons, and the top acts as a home button and a sleep button, and the bottom button is the menu button. So funny that there's no back button on this. So for example, if I go into the settings app here and let's say I go into brightness setting, if I press any of this dial, it will push me back out to the home page rather than going back one step. So that's something to take note of. So at the back of the watch, you'll be getting a plastic finish with some geometrical design, something like a carbon fiber look. And at the top of that, you get the charging pins, which you have to use their proprietary charger to charge up. And in the middle, you'll be getting a simple heart rate monitor that provides you with 24/7 continuous heart rate monitoring. So the watch does come with an original black band inside the box together with the red color band that you see here, and the original one is a little bit uncomfortable in my opinion, and because the grooves at the front and the grippier rubber material get stuck sometimes and pulls on the skin, so not the nicest feeling there. But like I say, inside the box you'll also be getting this black red strap which feels super comfortable. So the watch width is at 22mm, so you can go outside and buy any 22mm rubber strap that you can find. So it also comes with a quick release pin here, so it's easy for you to swap out the band if you find something that you like. So the screen of the X5 is not OLED, but it comes in a 1.3-inch IPS display with a resolution of 240 by 240, which is not the sharpest because of that screen size. And the IPS display also means that you don't get true blacks. However, color accuracy when viewed from the side is very good. Blackview says that the X5 comes with a 2.5D glass, but don't be mistaken because this doesn't mean that the glass is Gorilla Glass or whether it's strong. 2.5D actually means the indication of contour of the glass at the edge. So the X5 comes with a 260 mAh battery, which is pretty good, and for most of the budget smartwatches that I've interacted so far, they do provide superb battery performance even with the 24/7 heart rate monitor running behind. Perhaps it's the lack of sensor and GPS which gives the battery life a major boost. The X5 is rated to have a 7 to 10 days battery life, and I've used it for 2 days now and the battery is still full, so I guess that's very good. Charging the watch from empty takes about 2.5 hours. Specs wise, there is not a lot of feature going on in here, but most notably the watch is connected to your phone through a Bluetooth 5.0 connection, and the watch is rated to be IP68, dust and water resistant. So I won't be worrying about bringing this watch for a swim. However, later when we take a look at the sports tracking, swimming is not one of the supported sports. Apart from that, the watch doesn't come with GPS, and if you're running with your phone, it uses your phone's GPS to track location. There is no NFC, no ECG, and of course, no blood oxygen monitoring. So as far as a budget watch go, the X5 is pretty basic. So let's talk a little bit about the watch interface that we have here. So the homepage of the watch, you get to choose from 6 different types of watch faces, and these are fixed and not customizable. So to change the watch faces, you don't press and hold like many watches do, but what you gotta do is actually go into the settings here, and you'll see dial settings. So click on that and you'll be able to swipe through 6 different types of presets that is inside here. Personally, they are okay, but they are not the most flattering type of watch faces, so let's just pick one of them, and that's how you swap between the different watch faces. So at the home page, if you swipe from the right, you'll be getting 4 different screens. So the first one is your pedometer, the second one is your sleep tracking. So I wore this to sleep yesterday, so I'll talk a little bit about this later, comparing it to my Apple Watch, and you'll see the difference there. And the next screen is the weather forecast. And lastly, it's the heart rate monitor, and when you turn to this screen, it automatically turns on the heart rate monitor. And swiping from the bottom, you see your last 3 most recent messages, whether it's from Facebook or WhatsApp or anything else, and you can click onto any one of it and it'll tell you the detail of your message. And you can also delete all of your messages here. And if you swipe down from the top, you'll be getting a somewhat control center type of thing. And the first one you get is to find your phone. If you tap on this and it's connected to your phone through Bluetooth, it will ring your phone so you can find where's your phone. Next, you can also take a look at all the alarms that you set, but in this case, there is no way for you to set the alarm in a watch. You gotta set it inside the app. And the next one you get is a brightness control for the screen here. So you get 1 to 11, not sure why it's 1 to 10, so we got that going. And next to that, you get a night mode, which turns off all vibrations from your smartwatch but doesn't dim the brightness or turns the wrist flicking control off, which is a big quirk, because if you set it to night mode and you have an alarm set in the morning, your watch does not vibrate. And lastly, if you click on the eye, you'll be also getting some of the information about your watch, and below that you'll be getting your battery, your time, as well as the date. So that's basically all of the watch interfaces that you get. So one additional thing I want to highlight on both of these watches is that I wore both of these watches to sleep yesterday, and you can see how different the counter is for my sleep. So on the Apple Watch, I got 7 hours and 4 minutes, and on the Blackview X5, I got 7 hours and 40 minutes. So for the Apple Watch, it does a better job to track when I'm really asleep, when I fell asleep. So I think that's more accurate for me because I slept about 7 hours yesterday. So the Blackview is definitely more inaccurate here, so it's by 40 minutes margin. Something to take away: if sleep tracking is really something you're concerned about, then maybe the Blackview is not such a good option. So next, we're going to take a look at the menu controls inside this watch. So if you press the bottom button, you go into the menu, and there's quite a few things that you can do here. So the first one is to control and take a look at the sports. So like I mentioned earlier, swimming is not one of the sports here, although this is IP68. So what you get is outdoor run, outdoor walk, indoor walk, hiking, mountaineering, outdoor cycling, stationary bike, or rowing machines. And if you click on any of this, it immediately starts the sport tracking. So if you swipe from the right, you get your music control. So whatever music that you're playing, you can control the play or pause, skip tracks, or you can also control the volume here. So what you get to do if you swipe from the right, you get to pause your workout or stop your workout. So in this case, we'll stop the workout, and it will say, do you want to end? So yes, and it's saved. So moving from sports, you also get a stopwatch, and if you click on timer, you get to create a timer and you can start it. Music is very convenient because this one works with any media that is playing on your phone. So I've tried this with Tidal, with Spotify, with YouTube, with Netflix. All of them works really well. Below that, you get a female, which I believe is to track your menstrual cycle, but I'm not set up as a female, so I don't get to see that. And photograph is very cool because it gets to control your camera on your phone remotely. So you get to press the button, or there's also a function to shake, because sometimes if, let's say, you're taking a selfie and you only have one available hand, so one hand can be holding the phone and the other hand you can just shake it and it will take a photo from your selfie camera. So that's pretty cool. And below that, you get a weather, which is the same widget as what you get from the home screen just now. And also you get into settings, which you'll be able to select your brightness, your dial settings, app download, as well as clear the entire data within the watch. So that's basically all of the menu you get inside the smartwatch. So when you set up your watch, the first thing that it'll ask you to do is download the app, and in the homepage of the app, the first thing you'll see is the step counter and how far you are away from your goal. And below that, you'll be able to see the battery percentage of the X5. And below that, you also see 3 different metrics, and that's the only 3 metrics that you get. Number 1 is your sports, so it detects your movement, your steps, as well as your workouts if you have any. It also tracks your sleep, which also I want to talk about this a little bit. And also at the bottom, you get your 24 hours heart rate monitoring. You can click into each of one of it and it will tell you the amount of sleep you have, or your sports workout, or your heart rate. So that's pretty cool. In the middle here, you get the more. So inside here, you get to force a manual heart rate test. So if you press on it now, the watch will start tracking your heart rate so you know what's going on. Also, if you go into settings, you'll be getting a lot of different settings here that you get to choose from. So the first one is message notification, so you can set what type of message do get pushed through into your watch, and in my case I have WhatsApp. You also get to select your alarm settings inside here, so you can create an alarm here and it'll push it to your watch. But do remember, if you put night mode, your alarm is not going to vibrate. You can also do sedentary settings, so it'll tell you if you're sitting for too long, heart rate alert, and it'll warn you if your heart rate is above a certain BPM. So turn wrist detection, so if you lift your hand up, it'll turn on the screen. And below here are just some of the other settings that you can do with your watch. So at the home page here, you can also start a manual running. So this one, if you run with your phone and you start playing, it will track GPS movement from your phone itself, or you can track bracelet movement. And so that's basically all of the controls you get with the app of the Blackview X5. So ultimately, this watch sets out to do what it's designed to do, which is the bare minimum. And is it comparable to flagships like Samsung Watch or Apple Watch? Definitely no, but don't forget that Apple Watch starts at $399 US, and this is a mere US 60. So for its price, I think it's plenty capable, and I'm sure that there is a market for it. And personally, I'm not the biggest fan of watch faces, but I hope that Blackview will have future updates in their app that can provide you with nicer watch faces. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash the thumbs up button, share this video everywhere, and if you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.